with Disabilities Act in Iowa, signed this day by Chester Culver, Governor of Iowa. Senator Harkin, in addition to his authorship of the ADA, has authored other laws to increase the independence of Americans with disabilities. He wrote the legislation that requires all television sets to have closed captioning. He authored the law creating the National Institute of Deafness and Communication Disorders. He helped write legislation reforming education for children with disabilities, with a special emphasis on early intervention. Harkin also championed efforts to improve mental health services and insurance coverage. Senator Harkin has also worked to advance collaborative research in paralysis and to improve the quality of life for those living with paralysis, including by creating a clinical trials network to measure the effectiveness of rehabilitation therapies. His Christopher and Dana Reeve Act, named after the actor and his wife, became law in March of 2009. Senator Harkin continues to pursue an aggressive disability policy agenda. Senator Harkin is the chairman of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pension, sometimes called the HELP Committee, and the Senate Labor, HHS, and Education Appropriations Subcommittee, as well as being a senior member of the Senate Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee and the Small Business Committee. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you your friend Senator Tom Harkin, the Iowa senator who has literally changed the face of our nation. Senator Harkin.
Jim LaRue, thank you very much for that very, very long and overly generous introduction. But you read it just like I wrote it, so I appreciate that. Jim, thanks so much for that introduction, but thanks for all your great leadership in so many areas. Listen, I'm going to step aside here for a little bit and introduce someone else to speak before I do. He has even more of a tough schedule than I do today. He's got to leave to go to Columbus Junction very shortly. And since I'm probably going to talk a little bit longer and reminisce a little bit, you know how senators are, right? You give them a microphone, they can't shut up. So I'm going to introduce a great friend of mine to speak first. You all know him. I love this guy dearly. I'm telling you, he's been one of the best things that's happened to the United States Congress in a long time. He's one of our best supporters. He's a strong, strong supporter of disability rights and the disability rights movement and independent living. You couldn't ask for a better congressman than Dave Loebsack. Dave.
Thank you, Senator Harkin. That's overly nice. I am going to be very brief because I do have to take off, and you're here to listen to Senator Harkin. I said this when I first got into Congress. I was asked by one of those newspapers on Capitol Hill, you know, who do you look up to politically? And it was because of the ADA, it was because of a number of other things. I said that Tom Harkin is my hero. And I said at that time, I continue to say it, I believe it. Tom Harkin is my hero. Let's give Tom Harkin a big hand. I'm here for you today. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about anything that I've done or anybody else has done. I'm here to talk about you. And I'm here to just thank you for all the great work that you, especially those in the audience who have disabilities, what you've done to make the ADA possible, what you've done to continue your work to make it better, because we are going to make it better as time goes on. I'm sure that the Senator's going to talk about that as well. And I'm here to urge you to continue to come to my office, which is, after all, just a few feet down this way, right? You know, I got Dave Lesh working in that office. We have Dave Lesh working in that office. When I first came into this office, I had to be careful because everybody knew Dave Lesh, right? Okay, I stood in for Dave Lesh at events, you know. They've worked a long, long time on these disability issues, and I think a lot of people here standing here today know who he is. Our office is open for you to come in anytime to talk about these issues and any other issues. We're going to need you to help us move forward on this. We're going to need you. I'm serious about that. This doesn't work from the top down. It works from the bottom up. That's how it worked 20 years ago. Senator Harkin led the charge in the Senate, in the Congress, in the country, but it began from the ground up. Many of us have relatives who have disabilities. Many of us know folks who have, all of us know folks. Many of us have had this touch us personally, and that makes a big difference, I think, when people like us are in office, if we've had folks in our families struggle with disabilities. And along those lines, I want to mention one thing that may not be mentioned today. Let's also, in the context of the ADA and disabilities, never forget those who struggle with mental illness, okay? Never, ever forget that. Now, I'm going to turn it back over to Senator Harkin. He's going to talk to you about the ADA and what all it's done, and hopefully where we're going to go from here, too, Senator. Let's welcome our great hero, Senator Tom Harkin. Thank you all. Thank you.